Welcome to tutorialsinhand.com. In this video tutorial, we are going to see how to use getter and setter methods to set the values of a particular attribute and then retrieve using getter method, right? So suppose you have a class student where you have two attributes and we will use getter and setters and learn how to use it. And remember one thing, that this is one of the most important concept that you will see in each and every real life project where you will work. And to retrieve or set value for any attribute, you will be requiring this getter and setter method every now and then. So you should be very clear how to use this getter and setter. So let's first see how we can write getter and setter, right? So let's consider this attribute roll number. Here, first thing is you should make these attributes private. It should not be default public or anything else. It should be private, strictly private. Because now if you see, if it is not private, now what we can do, we can simply create object of student class, this student class, and then using the object st, we can directly access any attribute, that is name, or you can also access roll number directly using the object like roll number, and you can set any value to roll number, right? So this is what you are able to do. Any class should not be able to directly access these variables or these attributes, right? Nobody should be able to directly access it, and this is where you will be applying data hiding. So this is where data hiding will come into play. So let's see how this is coming in play. You are making it private and you should make the other one also private. So any variable that you declare should be declared as a private, as we are showing over here. And now you see what you have done is you have restricted anyone outside this class to not access these variables directly. For example, see, process data class is trying to access the variable name and roll number directly, but it is not allowed because this is private and you don't have permission to access the private variables. So this will not work now, and for this we make the variables private. Now if you have made it private, then how you will allow these to be accessed by someone else? And this is where you will bring the concept of getter and setter into play. So first thing is we will talk about how to set roll number. So to set roll number, we will use public method, public void, because we are just going to set, we are not going to return anything. So it should be void, right? Void does not return anything. So public void, and then you will set roll. So this is a standard way of writing this method name set, and then this roll with R capital. You can change it. You can change it to any name. It will not be a problematic. You can set roll number or anything. But standard way of writing is like set roll, so that you will be able to recognize which method is for which variable, right? And when you are setting it, that means you will receive some roll number, and the roll number that you will receive is of type roll. So you can write R, or you can also write roll number. So generally roll is only written. We will understand why roll is written, but for now I am writing it as a roll number so that you will be able to differentiate. Now what will happen is you are going to set this roll number that you are receiving to this variable for the particular call that is being made. So you will write this dot roll. So this dot roll refers to the variable, this one that belongs to the class. So this dot roll is equals to your roll number that you are receiving as a parameter. So this is how you are setting the value, right? Generally what I was saying is this roll is also written as a roll. So this is generally you will see is written as this one, and then you are setting it as this one. So in Eclipse it has a coloring which shows that this roll is this variable. So this is referring to this variable, and this roll is the one that you are receiving as a parameter. So it's not hard and fast rule that you have to write exactly the same. You can also write the way I have done, like you can write roll and no. So it will make no difference, right? And you will be able to distinguish between which variable this is. As a beginner you can do this, but generally in industry you will see something like this where it will be roll and roll only, right? So for instance, let it be like this only. Now you have got the setter method. Now you need one getter method, so that the value that has been set over here, you can get that value and use it whenever you want. So in that case, what you will do, you will declare one getter method. Now the getter method will return you the value, and value that is being returned is of type integer because you have set the value of type integer. So you should return a value of type integer, and then again get method will also be follow the same naming convention like get roll. Again you can write get roll number or anything which you want, but the standard way is writing get roll. And since this is just returning the value, you are not going to pass any parameter over here, and you will simply say return roll. So you are simply saying okay, now return the value that has been set. So this is happening for only roll number. So let's see how we are going to use this getter and setter first for roll number, and then we will write the getter and setter for name also. So let's go ahead over here. As you can see, you cannot directly set these values by calling private variables directly. So now you have to use the getter and setter methods that has been provided over here. So to set the value, you have already created the object. You already know that to access any variable or method of other class, you have to create object, right? So object is already created over here. Now using this object that is being created, now what we will do, we will set the value using the setter method that we have created. st.set roll number is what you have created, right? And now roll number accepts one parameter of type integer, right? If you hold over here, it is expecting one integer variable. So now you can give this roll number as 12 that you have earlier given, right? And now you can print the value that has been set using the getter method. So to print it, you will use sysco, and you can print roll number is, and now what you can do is you can simply use st.get roll number, and this time it will give you the roll number that has been set using the setter method. So st.get roll number should give you the value 12, that is roll number should be 12. Now if you want to check, let's run this and see whether you are getting the value as 12 or not. See, you are getting roll number is 12. How it is working? Let's see how it is working. So student object is created because we want to use the getter and setter method of class student to set the values of its attributes. So we only have roll number, getter and setter method defined so far, so we can only use it for roll number. So using the object st, we are invoking the set roll number method. So when you click on this one, control, and click on set roll, it will take you to the place which is getting called, and it is accepting the parameter over here. So when you are passing this 12 and calling this set roll, that means when you are reaching over here, it is accepting 12 over here. That means int 12 as a roll number is getting stored in this roll number variable. And now you are saying this dot roll, that means the roll number, that means this dot roll will have the value that you have passed as a parameter, and now this will be having 12 as a value, right? So now this roll is having the value 12, and when you get this value that is stored in the roll, it will give you 12. So when you are saying st.get roll, so what it will return? It will return the value that roll poses at this time. So this time it poses the value 12, and that is what you are getting as a output over here. So this is being replaced by the value 12, which this get roll method will give you, and that is why you are getting the value as 12. So this is how you will use getter and setter method to set and get the values of roll number. So we still have one more variable like name. So how we are going to write the getter and setter for this one? You can simply use the same mechanism that we have already shown you for roll number. So you will write public void set and then name, and within that what you have to do, since you are setting the name, that means you have to pass a parameter and the type of the variable that you want to set. Like you want to set name, so name is of type string, so you can say okay, set name. Now see, name is similar to what you have over here, but these two are different. These two variables are not same. this is something which is being passed over here and is local to this set name, and this name is something which belongs to the class. So when you write this dot name, that means you are saying that this class variable name is being referred over here. And when you are assigning the value name, that means you are saying that this local variable that is belonging to set name is being set over here. So these are two different references, right? So this dot name is for this variable and this name is this variable. So when you are saying set name, you are accepting this value and then you are setting it to the class variable name. And now similarly you will have to use public. Now what it will return, if you want to get name, then it will give you a type string. So in that case you have to say that public string get name, and this time it will not have any parameter, and you will simply say return the name that has been set, and this is all. So you have written getter and setter for both the attributes over here. See, set roll number and then you have get roll number. You have set name and then you have get name, and now you can use this set name and get name to set the name and get the name. So now you can use st dot name. That means if you are writing st dot name, you are getting the suggestions that you have two methods with set name and get name. You can use it to set the value or get the value. So before getting the value, you should be setting some value so that you can get that value. So before getting, you need to set the value, and now we can set one string variable. That means you can write Raj, which was written earlier, and then you can get the name as well. So here you can say name is, and then you can use st dot get name, and now this will work. How? This will say that st dot set name. When you are calling st dot set name and passing this string, then what is happening? This method is getting called, and what it is doing, it is taking Raj as a parameter and then it is setting the Raj as a value to this particular attribute of class student. And when you are using get name, it is returning the same value that has been set in this one, and that is why you will get the name Raj printed over here. That means name is Raj will get printed. So roll number and name of the student will get printed on the console. So see, you are getting roll number and name getting printed on the console. Similarly, you can have any number of attributes. For example, you can have private course, then you can have private, and then you have to define the data type like private string course. And similarly you can go on to create any number of attributes, and then you can also create getter and setter for it. So now I have shown you how to write getter and setter manually, but you can also generate getter and setter by using the method provided by Eclipse. You can right click on any of the attribute that you are seeing. I am right clicking on fees, and then you can see there is source. Go to source, and then from here click on generate getter and setter. Now you will see you have course and fees for which getter and setter is not generated. You can select both and then you can say generate getter and setter, right? So here you can see insertion point, means it is saying that where you want this getter and setter to be created. That means if you are saying that after fees I want to create getter and setter, then what it will do, it will create getter and setter over here for course and fees. That means after this fees, private string fees, next line it will create getter and setter for course and fees. But we don't want to create over here, right? We want to create the getter and setter after get name. So here you can select get name. So when you will select get name, it will create the getter and setter for course and fees after this get name. So now if you click generate, you will see getter and setter has been created after get name. See, get course and set course, right? We have get fees and set fees as well over here. So this is how you can create getter and setter for any attribute, and similarly you can use those getter and setter over here, creating your own class and then creating the object of the student class and then calling the getter and setter method of the student class. I will request you to set the value in this course and fees variable that we have just now created, and try to play around and see whether you are able to use it and understand the core concept, how you are setting the value and how you are getting the value. Hope you have enjoyed this video tutorial. If you have any question, please write to us in the comment section, and definitely we are going to come back to you with proper suggestions and help. Till then, keep learning and keep enjoying, and if you have learned something from this video, then don't forget to subscribe our channel.